Hello, hello. Welcome once again to another edition of Quoth Raven, Willis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Willis Bright Raven, 33-year veteran of comic, science fiction, fantasy, horror, role-playing games. And as you can see by the commentary, it is time for crowdfunding talk. This week we have 9 campaigns to discuss, some from Kickstarter, some from Indiegogo. We're going to start with the Kickstarters tonight with the A1 and Deadline, and that is special. The landmark comic book publications from the UK are back. Known as the heart of UK counterculture, and their return to print. They have 10 hours to go. As you can see, they have been fully funded right along. Over 1,000 backers for $36,550. Let's see if we can get that a little bit higher up today. Let's take a look at what they have to say. And of course, we did miss out on the day one backers because a lot of times Kickstarter just does not do a very good job of marketing these things. I hate to say it, but it's true. They are going to print in the US so that you're not going to get your books charged for tariffs and other things, as you may have questions about. You can pick any 2 of the variant editions, which is around $48. You get 2 variant covers of A1 Deadline Special at 80 pages, magazine sized. You get also a digital PDF edition. It comes with an extra large poster magazine featuring Johnny Nemo and Hotwire, and a collectible Deadline trading card, and a 3-inch vinyl sticker pack. And you can get to pick the variants via survey post-campaign. There is a bootleg PDF for $14. This is the print one with the Back from the Dead Tank Girl Leads Charge as Frankentank by Alex Horley. You get a PDF plus that variant. You get Executive Disorder, which of course is a Shaky Kane piece. I think we can tell who that's supposed to be parodying. There is the A1D Shy Boy variant by Kathy Kwan. And of course, you get original heart stuff like that as well. But there's a lot of cool stuff. Let me go back up here. It kept going up and down on this. You're going to get 4 additional pictures of milk and cheese. So you're going to get some Evan Dorkin. You're going to get a milk and cheese sticker. There's an original art here by Shaky Kane. There's 5 pieces you can order. There is some sketch card drawings that was sold out. So there's just a lot of stuff that they've done on this. I don't know if you guys remember Deadline, created by Brett Owens and Steve Dillon. It was where Tank Girl got started, but it also just was one of the best British comics anthologies of the era. And A1 was launched in '89 as well, and that had stuff from Mobius and Sienkiewicz and Eddie Campbell, a whole bunch of other different people. So it's like just a whole lot of really cool stuff. And so now they're just going to combine the two into one magazine. Again, you get Takenstein by Alex Horley. You get Excessive Dysfunction by Shaky Kane, Shy Boy and the Beard by Laura Helsby, representing the strip of the same name by Fred Valenti and Allison Sampson. And here's the 5th variant cover from Mark Nelson as well. So you get some really cool things. Just definitely worth the time. I don't know which variant I'm going to get. Again, you can get 2 variant editions and pick whichever 2 you want, or you can get all 4 for $77, which is still not bad. There's a retailer tier, still not bad pricing. My mascot is wanting to say hello to everybody. So, yes, the Midnight Monster is here. As you can see. Yes, they can see you. You're talking to people on a computer again. I want attention. All right. Anyway, put your tail down. Anyway, you get your retailer tier, as I was saying. 8 copies, 2 copies of each variant cover. Comes with a store display poster. Again, that's for retailers only. There's only 8 left of those. It's not a bad deal. I know some people might say, "Oh, we want the one kind of cover or whatever." Argue with them. I can't tell you what to tell you. But there's just a lot of really cool stuff. You can get original drawings. So one you can't do is get the 5th limited bonus by Mark Nelson, and that was because it was numbered 1 to 50. It's already sold out, but you can still get the A2 tanked. So there's that, and there's 31 left of those. So there's okay. I'm probably just going to get the regular Tank Girl cover, I think. But I'll have to think about it a little bit, not too much longer because it's almost over with. But I'm thinking, the A1D Tank Girl variant is probably my choice. What's 10 hours ago? Yeah, I better get on that. So that'll be my one there. And you guys are probably wondering what the code is for that. So let me go ahead and get that up for you. And again, this is the A1 deadline piece. There you go. And it's kind of, let me do that. And I'm pretty sure, and these are by people who are pretty solid. You got Dave Elliott, Chris Northrup, I know both of those people pretty well. I've heard of Mark Shea, but I'm not entirely familiar with him. But yeah, I've known Chris for years, so yeah, I'm pretty solid on who's behind this and what's going on. So your final shipping rates, domestic US is going to be between $12 and $20. Okay, sounds about right. Depending on what you're paying for. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here, and should be really interesting. You're going to have Tank Girl, Carpe Diem, Fancy Bull Head Case, Aisle 5, The Beard, Kathleen's House, Captain Dinosaur. There's just quite a bit of stuff in there. I'm looking forward to seeing what that turns out to be. And so I'm going to go ahead and recommend this one heavily. Probably 4.5 out of 5 recommendation on picking this one up. Okay, let's go ahead and go with our next campaign, which is Alpha Cat, which is what I've got in my lap, an Alpha Cat. But there's our book there. And this is, let me get the link up for you. If the kitty will let me have my hand. Oh, you silly monster. He's like, no. This is my hand. Oh, I'm using this for a pillow now. Anyway.
Hey friends, Chris Mancini here, and for those of you that don't know me, I'm a comedian and a writer who's written on everything from graphic novels to soap operas to horror movies to parenting books, and they're all more closely related than you think. Anyway, it's been a minute since our last Kickstarter, and while we've been working diligently on Long Ago and Far Away Volume 2 Part 2, it's a mouthful, we also wanted to launch something new and really, really special and, well, shorter. Artist Fernando Pinto and I are collaborating on a new title called Alpha Cat, and it will be our first ongoing series together. We grew up on Disney animation, Spielberg films, Star Trek, Star Wars, and video games like Sonic the Hedgehog and Ratchet and Clank. But we basically wanted to put both our childhoods in a blender and see what kind of fun comic smoothie poured out. The result was Alpha Cat, a space adventure filled with heroes and villains and action, mystery, adventure, and fun, hopeful vibes. But don't take my word for it. Well, actually, you should. But also, here's artist and co-creator Fernando Pinto.
Hey guys, Fernando here. I'm already hard at work, as you can see on issue 1 of Alpha Cat. Hope you guys come along with us. This is going to be an awesome one.
So check out Alpha Cat and all the great rewards below, and you can pick up any other White Cat Entertainment books you may have missed along the way as well. Thanks again for your support, and welcome aboard.
Pretty straightforward, pretty simple thing. If you like stuff like Clank and Ratchet, and you liked Bucky O'Hare back in the 80s, or you liked Rocket Raccoon, from Marvel, this might be something up your alley. The digital is $5. The physical print signed copy is $12. Of course, you can get 2 for $24. There's a digital plus all the books that Fernando Pinto's ever done, I guess, with over 500 pages of comics for $50, and that's digital, of course. There's a bulk retailer tier, 10 copies for Alpha Cat signed. That's for $60. a little pricey, a little steep, I think. But you know, I mean, it's not steep in the sense that you're paying 6 versus the 12, but that means the retailer has to charge 8, has to charge $10 to $12 for the book, and that's a hard sell necessarily to people in the comic book stores these days. Even though they're signed books, people are kind of weird at stores. I don't know. Physical book, if you missed out on any of the other graphic novels, you can get them all. They're normally $92. Get them all. You're getting it all for $75. Not bad. For $250, get your name mentioned in the book as a special member of the crew, or your company's name on a page. Available during the campaign only. Okay. $250. If I had that kind of money right now to spend, I'd actually pledge that just so I could get like Quoth the Raven in the comic book. Hey, promote me. But have your pet join the fight for $300. That would be putting my Monster Midnight in there. Because we gotta have the kitty in there. But I don't have $300 for that, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have him be on the crew. But yeah, some pretty cool stuff going on here. After being a soldier in the devastating insect wars, Alpha and his crew are now exploring the galaxy. And they come across an ancient robot temple that hides a powerful secret. So what are they doing? This looks pretty darn cool. And you can go on this thing and actually see a full preview for the whole book as well. So lots of cool stuff, And of course, here's some of the other things you can get. Wanted Going Far Away, which is one of their previous graphic novels that you can pick up. There's 200 pages. It says ages 12 and up. I've seen the book. It's been a while, so I'm not against 12 and up, but I think it might have been a little bit skewed, a little bit over than that, but I don't know. It's been a while since I looked at it. I don't have it in my collection right now. So, I have not seen Rise of the Kung Fu Dragon Master. That would be interesting to see as well. But okay, it's 188 pages. So that might actually be worth some really cool stuff there. So I'm going to have to see, how much time do I have left on this one? Got 51 hours to go. There's another one I got to make up my mind on what I'm ordering. Let's see. There's the Alpha Cat Kickstarter address. What you doing? Oh. Oh, he decided to get down out of my lap. He's like, I'm done. If I'm not going to be in this comic, I'm leaving. What can I tell you? That's kind of what he does sometimes. Alrighty, but yeah, there, that's better. Yeah, I'm thinking probably where's the one that I'll probably get the $75. All right, because I don't have any of those graphic novels, and I'd like to get some of those, so I'll probably back it that way. But we'll see after the show on that one. But 3.5 to 4 recommendation on a 5 on this one. Okay. Our next book is Hostile Planet, which is an environmental science fiction comics anthology with 13 creators from across the globe telling stories from post-environmental collapse. It's got 28 days left to go. It's almost $3,700 out of a $7,300 goal, so they're just over 50% of the way there. So we will revisit this in the future, but what do we got here? I mean, 13 different stories, okay. Some pretty cool art. Look in there. That's Miranda Smart's Parboiled. You got Tyler Landry, Miranda Smart, Izzy Liu, Bryce Davidson, Katerina Gerbasi. I don't know if you're familiar with a lot of these people. They're not necessarily the most well-known creators, but these are all relatively fresh faces that are, up-and-comers that should be getting paid attention to. There's Sonics, A Murmur in the Sands. Just, nice stuff. It looks like it's going to be black and white, which is fine. I don't have a problem with black and white. There's Sabetta's Sleeping Shore. Their initial stretch goals, first and foremost, was payment for the creators. That's the initial funding was for the bare minimum covering shipping and handling. First stretch goal will be covering a minimum page rate of $50 US for all creators, which $50 page rate ain't much, but it's something, and I'd rather, get them seeing that than nothing. Any funds made on a Kickstarter over the initial funding goal. And what was that initial funding goal again? 7,300. So they want to get to 17,000 just to make sure everybody gets their page rates, which I think is a reasonable thing. Because a lot of times with these books, the cost of operating, shipping and handling and production, everything does wipe out your earnings. So I can understand why they want to get to that level. $20,000, everyone will receive an 8x10 Hostile Planet one colored Veruza print. Okay, not a big deal there. They're not aiming high on their goals per se for stretch goals, but it's not like they probably should be aiming too high with black and white anthologies because, well, fans aren't always supportive of this stuff, unfortunately. But there's some really nice stuff here. Again, you're Sleeping Shore. This is Tim Fisher for Wins. And I kind of wish that Tim had a little more line weight variation to create more depth perception in his work. Because it's black, mostly because it's just black and white. If it was fully colored and stuff, I think we could make it work. But not that this is bad by any means. It's just my perceptions as a editor and stuff. I look at it from that perspective a little bit more. But it's not bad art. This is Tyler Landry's Of the Self. I like what he's doing with his inking here. It looks like the blood splatter type stuff going on, but a lot of it is actually just really well done pointillism effects on the outer edges. And there is some splatter in there as well just to get it done faster, but you can tell that he's doing pointillism in there. I like this way they're doing the shadows and computer digital shading here on Garen's Chimera. Of course, this is kind of a Japanese manga looking type thing, but it looks sharp. I like the hatch work he's doing, or they're doing, I should say. good shading effects again, like I said. They got a little bit of a European flair going on with the way they're doing the hatch work, so looks good. Katerina Gavasi's work. I like what I'm seeing. It doesn't feel as complete as the Garin stuff. And this has the artwork is open enough that it could use that, I think. But at the same time, I see what they're doing with their shadows and their spot effects and stuff. So I'm not. You're going to get something, I don't want to call it a mixed bag, but because I don't know how much of this stuff is actual close to the finished product, or if it's in production, in process level, or what. Sacred Fields creation looks good. Ooh, that's interesting. All right. That is, yeah, that's Izzy stuff. Okay. Thought it was, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, I've seen Izzy's stuff before, and this is a little more sparse than what I've seen of their work at other times in terms of the figure work there, but they're doing more with the shading in this one. So I'm like, okay, it should be interesting to see how that comes out story-wise. This one might be a little bit risque. You can kind of see a little bit. I mean, there's not nude or anything here, but depending on what you come out with, you might have a little bit risque stuff there. I don't know. This looks good. Bryce's stuff looks nice. Power Waves looks good. This is a combination of black and white ink wash with some digital touch up, it looks like a little bit to me. All right. But yeah, it looks pretty sharp. So what are we going to have to pay here? The physical tier is 200 pages, 6x9 black and white, uncoated pages with spot gloss and cover $25. Sounds about right. So you're going to pay your 25 plus your shipping cost, and that's for both the PDF and the physical copy. And that's not bad. You're effectively getting 2 copies. Now a lot of people might say, well, what if I don't want the mailed copy? Take the mailed copy, folks, because it's one of the best ways you can share a version of the book with a friend if they don't have the means to reach out, pay for it. You got a digital copy. You can always share that with someone. And it's also easier to do reviews if you've got a digital copy, because you can take the digital format and put it into your Photoshop or your other programs and take the digital images and rework it to make your reviews with, rather than trying to have to scan the physical book. So don't, I know a lot of people are kind of anti digital comics for some reason. It's not a bad thing to have. Yes, I like my print better personally, but there is good reason to have the digital. Let's see, what is the 5 copies for? That is $90 at 40% off. Okay, that's for U.S. retailers only. Okay, well, $90 is 40% off. Okay, let me think. 5 times 40 is 16. Yeah, it's around 40. All right. Some people might think that's not high enough, because there's a lot of retailers who think it is, or 55 to 58%. I don't agree. You got spoiled. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I would go with that if I owned a store. The sketch card tier, you can get one of the sketch cards. That's for $100. There's 30 out of 40 left of those. That's a little bit high, I think. You're like talking about a $75 for or $60 for a sketch card. That's a bit steep, in my opinion. But you can also look at it as trying to get these guys paid, because anthologies don't normally pay very much. And I mean, I'm kind of so on that price. You get a 10 copy retailer tier. I would have gone 45 or even 50 for a 10 spot on that. I would have given them a higher percentage discount. If you're going to do a 5 and a 10, I would recommend giving the 10 copy a little bit higher discount, because they're investing a little bit more in you and making a commitment to you to try and market your book if they're going to order that many copies. Just my opinion. But because some of these stores will order they only really want to order 2 or 3, and 5 is a stretch. So if someone's going to make a commitment to 10, and as you can see, there's no backers on that yet. I'd have to say 45, 50 on that tier as recommendation, folks. And please understand, I'm not trying to be overly critical of the campaign runners. This is just a general observation for anybody who's doing retailer tier. If you're doing a graphic novel and you're offering retailer tiers and you want to get a real support from the backers from the retailers, you should really get them in that 50 to 58% range. That's what they're looking for, because that's what they get from Lunar and Penguin Random House. So you want to be equitable to that if you can. And if it means getting them to buy 10, that means you're hopefully going to be more committed to recommending and marketing your book in the store as well. So that's just an observation, some advice. Take it for what it's worth. I'll probably get the 25 physical, because I don't really need a sketch card at 100 personally, but I understand why it's that price. I would probably go more like 35, but I understand, and some people might say, well, why would you go so much lower? For one thing, I know how fast I can do a sketch card. I do sketch cards all the time, and I can usually do one in half an hour to 45 minutes tops, and that's a full color piece. I don't know if these cards are going to be full color or they're going to be black and white with spray scale tones or whatever. And I know what I charge for my cards, and it's not anywhere that kind of price. So I kind of, like I said, I understand why they're going for that price. It's partly to get them up to that stretch goal so that all the guys can get all their page rates paid in. But you're going to have some people who are really dedicated to your artists to back that, I think, unfortunately. And as you can tell, there's 67 backers for the physical tier. There's one backer for the $90 40% off. There are 10 backers for the sketch cards. So they do have a few diehards out there, and I hope that they are. I would love to see what the cards come out looking like, to see for the prices that they're asking for it. But and I hope they get more backers that can support that. But I back so many campaigns, I just can't. I can't swing that. I apologize, but all right. So there's that one. And did I share? No, I didn't. let me go ahead and get the hostile planet links for you. There's your hostile planet link. And again, you got 28 days to go. We'll revisit it in the future. Maybe we'll find out that those cards are actually doing a lot better than I thought. I don't know why Kitty still keeps coming back once more. I think what it is it's really cold, and he's colder because he's lost all his weight since he's been sick. I don't know if you guys, those who are new to the show, because I've had a few people who have only recently subscribed. Midnight, my little monster boy here, he has kidney disease. And he's lost about 12 pounds. He was almost 20 pounds, and he's down to like 9. So they're kind of like watching him a little bit here, but he doesn't have that body fat. He gets a little bit more wanting attention when it gets cold, and it's really cold down here. Right now it's 36 degrees in South Carolina. So it's like, what? And it's like, okay. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but anyway, yeah. Again, I'll probably get the $25 tier on this one. Physical copy tier, whoops, right there. Is probably what I'll get on that one. And I give this one a 3.5 to 4 rating for recommendation pickup. Alrighty, our next book will be Mike Allred's Mad Maniverse, Mad Mania #0 in Rock and Risograph. Let's see what we got here. Let me make sure I've got the link for you. Alrighty. And what's going on here? I don't know if I can. Nope. It's not sharing right. I don't know what's going on. What, it just wants to show that one. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I'm getting I might get a other problem here with my comments. There we go. There's that one. All right, let's share it. That was kind of weird. There we go. 5,000. Got 20 days to go. As you can see, it's over double the pledge goal. They don't have a video with it, unfortunately. I wish they did. You get the standard edition #0 to 8, and you get all the graphic trading cards. There's going to be a limited 100 edition. I'm sure they're starting back here. So you still can get the Risograph. It's a limited edition of 100. You can either get it at the biggest reward tier or as an add-on at another level. This is your Risograph. If you don't know what a Risograph is, let me see if I can. explain what that is. It's similar to screen printing on a type of fibrous surface, but it's done with a kind of like a digital copy type thing in a way. And it only comes in with non-CMYK colors as a rule. And it usually has a small print run of like 50 to maximum of 1,000, but usually 50 to 500 copies is usually what they do for small printing. It originated from Japan, so it's like it's basically a digital screen printing of sorts. Now, hey, what's the matter? Sorry, folks. What's the matter? Okay. You gonna get down? Yeah, he's gonna get down. So anyway, I would say, that's the print you're going to get. It's going to be a nice. Let me see if I can get that to enlarge a little bit. Nope, I'm not getting it to enlarge. Sorry about that. I wanted to get it to enlarge, but it won't. Sometimes the screen wants to enlarge and sometimes it doesn't. Let me see if I can zoom a little bit here. There. Does that help? A little bit, folks? I don't know. Let me see if I can. There. It's really not showing a whole lot more, but you get that. And it's not bad. You see it's got a little bit of different oranges and blues with a little bit of red stuff. So certainly potentially worth your time on that. Let me go ahead and get that back to the right zoom level. But anyway, what else can you get? Again, you can get the Mad Mania level. You get your trading cards. You can get the trading cards. You get a Gen X edition numbered, limited. You get a metal trading card and metal bookmarks for $65. You get the Mad Mania digests and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different things here going on. These are basically him writing about Allred's early stuff, the proto Madman comics. And so he gets to write about all that stuff, and you get to read it as first or last issue, so pick a number. And this is by Doc Irving, Christopher Irving again. So a lot of cool stuff going on there. Now, how much of this, I don't know. There's a lot of things in there to get. I'm kind of, says, how many more days does this have to go? I'm going to see if I can get him on. He's got 20 days. I'm going to see if I can get Christopher to come on the show and talk about this one, to give you guys a little more information on this one, I think, because this isn't, when you're talking about, the Madman stuff, and Chris is more of a comic book and media historian. He did the Blue Beetle Companion, He's done like all the conversations, the conversations. So, he's the curator of the history of the Mad Maniverse, as you will. And so I think getting Chris on here would be a good idea to see what he's doing with that. And that way we can kind of get everything squared away of exactly what you're getting. I'm kind of just going for the standard in my head, but I might get more. It really depends. I'd really like to see what he actually has to say about it before I make a decision. So I'm going to try and get him on the show and talk about that soon before the date closes. When does the date close? December 2nd. Okay. So we will try to get him on next week if I can. So I'll have to reach out to him. But yeah. Okay. Alrighty, our next one. If I can get this to, it's not wanting to stop sharing. There we go. Our next one is called Silver Bell. I need to refresh it. There we go. And this is kind of a fantasy YA type graphic novel. And it's all been painted in watercolors and stuff like that. We'll show you a little bit here in a second. I'm trying to get the KS link here for you. There's the KS link. There we go. And let's go ahead and share that screen now. All right.
Hi, Jake, the creator of Silver Bell here. This book has been a seriously intense labor of love since I conceived of it in December 2024. Most of that process you can actually find at links below on our YouTube channel where you can watch the first kind of month of creation, storyboarding, concepts, all of that. Silver Bell is the kind of book that I hope that you read on the floor with a cup of coffee or your favorite tea, and I hope that you can kind of just go for the ride and enjoy it. Silver Bell is a story about a person whose life is quite literally shattered. Her world is broken, her body is torn apart, and then she has to rebuild. She has to make choices that rebuild. I didn't expect the story to go where it did. I didn't expect the art to go where it did in some places. And I certainly didn't expect it to overtake my entire life. Drawing a 9x12 graphic novel at 2x scale, that's 18 by 24 inches, and having to paint the entire thing and drawing with a metal stylus, it's insane. The project is insane. I hope you can feel how much labor and how much love has actually gone into this because everything about this project to me on a physical level feels like you're able to bring a piece of my studio home to you. And I hope that at the very least the book reads more like a piece of original art than it does a reprinting of those pages. Anyway, without further ado, we should probably start the campaign.
This is just started. So you got 35 days ago. It goes until December 17th. But it's already passed its goal, so this is going to be fulfilled with 18 backers only so far. So I mean, these are not cheap books. I hate to say. The Silver Bell graphic novel is a $40 piece, but you're getting a 9x12 graphic novel. That's 120 pages. And of course, this is printed on silver point and watercolor on 18x24 art boards. I don't know if he's selling any of the original art or not. There's one to you, one to gift, of course. The retailer, 120. This is only for local Pittsburgh event stores because that's where he's from, is that area. I would like to, he said, for a city's a few hours away, he might be willing to discuss it and come visit too. No backers yet because, well, this is kind of an esoteric type of book, I think. I hope that he does get a few retailers that are willing to have him do a store signing. He's a really cool guy. We'll probably have him on again if I can. I don't know if you guys remember, I've had him appear on the show before, but it wasn't for promoting a book. So again, he's been working on this since 2020, for over almost a year now. And, 10 is $240. 10 goes to $240, $24. It's like a 42% discount. Okay. And again, different thing. You can get an original piece for $600. Of course, that's an 18 by 24 full color watercolor painting. That's exclusively a commission for you. That's not a bad price. It will be framed with proper care instructions and stuff like that. So 2 backers, okay, already, that's not bad. I'm not really seeing anything wrong with his pricing. Let me rephrase that. I don't see anything that I would question in his pricing. There we go. There's some more of the artwork. Again, this is all watercolor and pencils. And a lot of people may think this is a little bit too of an esoteric kind of comic for them. People don't know what silver point is. As he describes it, it's a method of drawing in which you use a metal stylus, oftentimes silver. It's pressed into a prepared board anchored on heavyweight paper or board. It's unable to be erased. So it's, like the sketching choice of the old masters. So you're actually getting something that's, he really, really has to focus on the art and design when he's designing. Be very, very careful about what he's doing. And that's why you see all these storyboards are done on the paper that he's using as references and stuff like that before he does the actual silver drawing, and then watercoloring over it. That does not include the shipping. So shipping will be $8 to $10. Outside of the US will be probably $25, but it'll vary because of different things with the tariffs and everything. We don't know what's going on, so we'll see. But I'm kind of looking forward to this. I want to say, I wish he'd given us a little bit more about what the thing is about. But if you go to YouTube, let me see here. I'm going to see if I can get this copied for you guys for his YouTube page is called Bell Ringer. It gives you a little bit more of the process of what he's doing. And I'm going to give you that as well. Here is just a second. There we go. This is the YouTube that actually shows some of him making the graphic novel in the process. So you can check that out as well. I'm going to give this one a 3.5 to 4 recommendation as well. I'm backing it. for Jacob. And I'm going to see, what we can do about maybe getting him on, because we've got a month to go, and maybe talk a little bit more about this project in the future. I'm probably going to get the major featured one, the basic graphic novel. But I'll wait until we talk to him, see what we can do here. Because someone might ask, well, is $600 much? Isn't that a bit pricey for the portrait? I don't think it is, partly because of this technique he's using and the amount of time. He's probably going to put in 20 to 40 hours on that piece. I'm guesstimating. And, if he's putting 40 hours in, at today's hourly rates of things, 600 is really a reasonable price for it, I think. But, you're getting a full-size 18 by 24 painting. I think that's reasonable. But it depends, on what you want to talk to me about. So, anyway, again, 3.5 to 4 recommendation on this one. And let's move on to the next one, which is Sprite number 1. This is a black and white comic. It's about 75% to its goal of 3,000. It's got 71 hours to go. Just give me a second here. It's being fussy on getting the KS link for me. There we go. And it wants to refresh the page. Of course it does. There's our Sprite number 1 for the link. Now let's make it stop sharing the other page. It doesn't want to share. Here we go. All right. As you can see, 2760 out of 3,000. 110 backers. It looks like a pretty cool looking character. Little sort of a weird looking like pin sword or something. Edward Kane is the creator. This is the first issue. It has Philip E. Townsend. Sprite slays well to protect her sundry, and they want a place to call home, but it's difficult when nobody else looks like they do. What good is the ability to harness light when everyone else is fine with the dark? And okay, here you are, underground. There's Grail. Sprite versus Grail there. Now, I wish I could say that this was for kids, but as you can see, if you were seeing, there's a little bit of language in this. Art would be great for kids if we didn't have the cussing going on. It's more like a 13 and up, PG-13 with a little bit of cussing in there, but I kind of wish it was. I wish they didn't have that in there, because then it could be more of an all ages audience potentially. And the artwork here would really be suitable for all ages, in my opinion. But it is what it is. The cover D that you saw with the cover art there is $20. It's only printed for this campaign. The digital copy is $5. The regular copy is 20 or 12. Pardon me. Cover B is 12. Cover C is 12. And really, there's some nice covers in general. Cover C is 15, I should say. Cover D is the one I like the best, but cover C isn't bad looking. There's cover C again. I do like cover D the best. You can buy some ebooks if you're into that sort of thing. All the covers is $60. Yeah, that's not bad. I really don't need all the covers, unfortunately. Again, here's the variant cover gallery. Here's the B one. It's okay. The C1 by Trey Baldwin's nice. I like it for what it is, but I really am digging the Ignacio piece the best overall. And I'm looking at it as, I'm probably going to get the D cover. Again, there's a lot of different things here. Day one is not a big deal there, but I'm not worried about early birds and stuff like that. But yeah. If you're into black and white comics at all, if you like that fantasy type stuff for oh shoot, why can't I think of his name? I'm just blanking out. I'm sorry. It was the IDW Dark Horse book. Hold on a minute. No, of course not. Let me show it. Canto. That's what I was trying to think of. If you like Canto, that was from IDW and Dark Horse. Yeah, then you'd like this, I think. So that's what I recommend it for, audience-wise. Again, the language, I wish the language wasn't with the cussing in there, but other than that, I think you guys might like that. So anyway, I will back this. Like I said, probably the D covers where I'll probably go with. But we'll see. I recommended it like a 3.5 to 4 out of 5. Okay. Our Kickstarters are done for the night. So what else do we have? Well, we have 2 or 3 more Indiegogo campaigns. We're going to start with our friend Graham Nolan. And there's the link to that. And let's watch the, whoop, pardon me. I was going to say watch the video, but it's really not kind of showing that. But anyway, if you're familiar, there we go. It is showing it up. It's on, it wants to show it up on YouTube. Oh, let me see if it'll play it.
Most of the Buffalo area is paralyzed after blizzard conditions whipped through the area shortly before noon today. The combined effect of the Arctic temperatures and the strong winds between 40 and 60 degrees below zero.
And helicopters, 38 of them, are trying to rescue reconnaissance over western New York.
Buffalo gets visits from the governor, plows, equipment, and manpower from the Army and National Guard.
Governor Hugh Carey is requesting President Carter to declare Buffalo and Erie County a major disaster area. Hundreds of motorists have abandoned their automobiles to search for emergency shelter.
Stay in your car. All I can tell you is if you are stranded in your car, remain calm. There's a chance you could get killed out there.
Or and that's enough of that. Steam, we don't think we go on there. It's got 29,000 over. It's got 418 backers with 29 days left. Their stretch goal is 30,000. You're almost there. As you see, I've already backed this one. I'm back at 114. What are the rewards? Well, let's look at the rewards if we can. You get the Ultimate Collector's Box. Limited to 150 boxes. More info. It takes, I don't know if it opens. Yeah, it did. Okay. You get cover A, cover B, cover C, a wraparound cover, snow globe, challenge coin, mother trucker hat, and a plushie. Limited to 150 boxes. I'm not getting that. I just got the basic package. But this is the cover A. This is the one I got, the main cover for 25 bucks. This is the cover B. That has the logo on there that makes it look like an old 70s Marvel comic. I didn't really want that on there. I was happy with just, the Compass logo and the title logo on there. I didn't really need it to look like a Marvel comic from the 70s. Not just a Marvel comic. I mean, Archie had that kind of branding back then. So did, not Titan, Atlas. So there was quite a few companies that did that sort of thing back then. But I just, I'm not against him doing it. People want to buy it, let them buy it. Got a King sketch cover. That was when they were doing their Comicsgate Kings for 25 bucks variant. Okay, whatever. You can get a blank sketch cover, and that's $25. You get original art on that as well. So it's just a blank cover for 25. The catch-up perk, this gets you the stuff for the originals from 2020 as well, so that you can get, the cover A1 if you haven't bought that version of it. I happen to have the original Chinu, so I don't need to get that. If you want Graham himself to do a personal head sketch on the Chinu blank sketch cover, it's $200. Not bad. I mean, I don't know. I guess you get to ask. Let's see what you get to pick the character you'd like, so that's not bad. And of course, Graham doesn't do the conventions anymore, because we're not as, a lot of us who do these crowdfunding campaigns, we don't get to do the shows as much as we used to, because a lot of the showrunners are like, well, you're not supporting with the retailers, your books aren't sold in the stores, so we really don't need you in type thing, or they want to price gouge us for tables. So we don't do a lot of store appearances or show appearances like we used to. And so that's why he's caught. If he was doing shows like this, I bet he wouldn't be charging nearly as much. He'd still charge you a head sketch probably about 80 to 100, but when he's only going to do 20 pieces, total, and shipping and handling, I think that's it's not unreasonable. Whoops, there was another piece there we missed. Hold on. You can get an 11 by 17 commission for $1,500 as well. And that's, like getting an actual comic book page. So again, that is what you get what you want. So he doesn't even do commissions outside of campaigns. So this is your chance to get your own personal Graham Nolan original. And you get to choose what you want him to do. So is that worth it? It's not worth it. If I had that kind of money to spend, I probably would. But I don't right now. So hopefully, maybe someday, But yeah. So anyway, I backed up with the regular book, and then there's some other stuff. You can get a snow globe, the challenge coin, the mother trucker hat. I thought that was kind of silly, but whatever. And then I'm not going to go into the other projects you may like. I don't care. But yeah, it's worth it. Like I said, I backed it, so if I backed it, it's a 5 out of 5 because I already backed it. So there you go. And let me go ahead and get the next one up on the road, and that is Billy Tucci or Deborah Tucci's Ran the Warrior. Hold on a minute. Computer's being a little, whoop, it doesn't work. I hate when it does this. Well, it's being a little bit snotty right now. There we go. There's a new link for Ran Revenge of the Warrior graphic novel. And let's get that screen shared, if it will let me. It's being a little bit fussy right now.
Greetings, everyone. Billy Tucci here, and I am so excited to announce our latest graphic novel, Ran, Revenge of the Warrior. For the first time ever, I'm bringing back the inspiration to my legendary comic book character, She. For over 30 years, she has garnered accolades, nominations, sold millions of comics, and helped launch the bad girl genre. One can never argue with success, as Anna Ishikawa has become a beloved staple to comics fans the world over. But to me, there was always that lingering question. What if? What if I had gone with my initial creation and in her purest and most raw form? That question has now been answered, as Crusade Comics is proud to bring you Ran, Revenge of the Warrior. Set in Tokyo, 1994, Ran commences a one-woman war against a sadistic gang of drug-dealing human traffickers. In other words, it is everything I always wanted to do with She, but never dared. Ran also boasts fantastic variant covers by Leandro Oliveira, Fred Bennis, Dan Lawless, and a hidden mystery comic by the world's greatest living comic book artist. In all its 1990s bad girl glory, Revenge of the Warrior introduces the world to the character who started it all in this 48-page, no-holds-bar, neon noir samurai macabre that pulls no punches and offers no mercy. So thank you for over 30 wonderful years in comics. This is our 11th campaign, and we appreciate all your faith and your support, and we hope you'll join us on this next adventure. I promise you, you're going to love Ran, Revenge of the Warrior. Ow! Ooh. Dang it. Check it out.
Right. So anyway, we'll move on from that. Let's look at the rewards. And you can get pick up 6 that gets all the different books, variant covers, and digital stretch goals and digital editions for $199. If you want to get the digital regular, that's $10. The blank cover edition is $20. The challenge coin is $24. rough can't cut editions 25. The Tucci cover, trade paperback, okay. The Fred Benez variant, I'm not really a big fan of that cover, but you know, it's the bad girl thing. Show your TNA, you know, whatever. The Leonardo Oliviera variant is nice. Angle's a little bit odd on the bike, I think, but it's not bad. I wish people actually tried to drive a motorcycle while carrying a katana and understood the centrifugal force of having your arm holding something while you're moving at high speed like that, because that's going to like wrench your arm out just from the wind friction. But you know, who am I? Of course, the surprise hidden mystery variant by the surprise artist. This is a Dan Lawless variant. Yeah, chop off a hand, chop off a head. What's the difference? Dan's a cool guy. There's your newsprint edition, limited to 200. What if? Kind of throwback, you know, to the What If Marvel type thing in a way. That's a hardcover edition featuring his very first Rand art. You get a T-shirt with Rand. You can get a Rand remark. Again, if you are a little bit larger person like myself, need to wear an XL or 3X, you can get it for 55 for the T-shirt. There's the foil editions. Those are 65 each. Why the Oliviera foil is 70 versus the other 65, I don't know. Wait a minute. Let me look at these again. I'm not sure. But anyway, well, Lawless is a 75. I guess it's because they figured those are going to be the more popular picks, maybe. I don't know. Again, just different variants. I'm not a big fan of these metal covers and stuff like that. I don't know, but a sketch black and white edition, limited to 50, 120 sketch from Tucci. Okay, that's fair. If it's black and white with a color piece, you know, for her lips and the eyes or whatever, yeah, okay. Yeah. Again, more metal variants. Hardcover sketch edition, okay. Pick up 6. Everything, please. Being a featured character is $12.50 again. If you want the original black and white Tucci Rand cover art, that would be $6,000. If you want the art portfolio from the original roughs, that's $6,500. I am looking to see. Did I miss the retailer cut on this? Let's see, I'm looking for a retailer one and I don't see it. There might not be, you know what? There might not be a retailer variant on this because I know he is marketing through Filbo and distributing through Filbo. So maybe he doesn't have retailer variant on this because the books will be made available through Filbo at some point, and you'll get your straight up 45 to 48% discount through Filbo. That's my guess. I mean, I can't swear to that, but that would be my guess as to why there isn't a Rand variant there, but or a retailer variant. But other than that, yeah. I would say there's Joey laughing. You're a little late to the party there, Joey. But yeah, it is what it is. And you know, good to see you there, buddy. Yeah, I give this one like a 3 out of 5. Yeah, I'm not really a Tucci guy particularly, but it is one of the more popular campaigns on Indiegogo right now. So if you are familiar with that history in the early 90s, and like I said, the bag girl movement, I don't know if he always like to say that he's the one who started the bag girl movement. I'm sorry, but there were people before him. But yeah, let him hype himself how he's going to hype himself. We got one more Indiegogo campaign tonight, and that is Cross Hallowed Ground by Tom Mandrake. Let me go ahead and get that. This is a pledge manager, so you can. It's already been totally funded, but you can get it. And let's see. This is. I'm trying to get this link right for him. And there's the link to that. We may have to share a different screen though. Let's see what the rewards are. No, hold on a second. Let me go back. If it'll let me. Will it open here, or will it go to another? Yeah, it's going to. It's going to another. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead and do it this way. This is Chaos Hallowed Ground, the video from YouTube that's promoting the campaign.
My name's Tom Mandrake, and I'm the artist for Cross Hallowed Ground. That's my new graphic novel that I'm working with John Ostrander, my longtime friend and collaborator.
I'm John Ostrander, and I write stuff. I've been writing stuff for about 30 years. With Tom Mandrake, I've done The Spectre, The Kents, Martian Manhunter, some Batman together.
My name is John Mandrake, and I'm going to be the colorist on Cross Hallowed Ground.
Cross Hallowed Ground is a 128-page graphic novel. It takes place during the Battle of Gettysburg.
And to that, we bring vampires. There's one battle going on during the day. There's another at night when the vampires come out to feast.
A vampire and a werewolf at one time were almost the same thing. And you're going to see a lot of that kind of character in Cross. A vampire can become a werewolf.
At the center of Cross Hallowed Ground is our vampire hunter, Cross. He's a Dampier. He's part vampire himself. He has many of their powers, many of their strengths, and few of their weaknesses. He doesn't care as much about the war itself. He only cares about his own mission. And he could be lost forever if he ever touches, if his lips ever touch human blood, the blood of the innocent. He will become the very thing he hates. And there's a big risk of that here in Cross Hallowed Ground.
One of the things that is really exciting to me about working on this project is the opportunity to draw it the way I want to do it. We're going to work out a unique color scheme to really let the black line shine through.
And so now I'm going to be coloring something with a much more limited color palette than I was before, kind of like that old photographs and stuff like that. You see those kind of sepia colors with very limited other colors. So it's going to be really different and really cool.
I believe that this will be a great read that people who love horror, historical fiction, who love our work are going to love Cross Hallowed Ground. There seems to be no way for us to get it to our readers unless we do it ourselves, and that's what we're trying to do.
So we are hoping that the fans will remember how much they enjoyed our past work together on Spectre, on Kents, on Martian Manhunter. If you're there and you're listening, we want you.
Okay. That was their video. Now let me go back to the campaign real quick. Because for some reason it was cutting me out on Indiegogo. So let me go ahead and get that rearranged here. There we go. It's a pledge manager. It's already been funded more or less. You can still back the project though. Rewards. Patches, the token. The PDF for the book is 15. The sketchbook is 25. The graphic novel is 35. Let's look at the more info on this. It's 148 pages. Good price for what they're doing. You get 3 prints, 2 postcards, the PDF and the graphic novel. Not bad. You can get the sketchbook as well. So this actually started out in October 2023. So I don't know if this is just something that's still, it's already been printed and he's selling me additional copies that are left or what. I'm going to reach out to Tom and see about that more. But this is the first time I was hearing about it, and I was like, hey, this is Ostrander and Mandrake. This should be good. Again, I'm a fan of the Spectre stuff. I'm a fan of the stuff they did on Batman and different things that they've worked on in the past. So, and I always want to support John because I don't know if people know, John has acute eye problems and is nearly blind nowadays. So, I always want to make sure whatever backing we can give Ostrander, we do it. So yeah, there's a lot of different things there. So I would definitely recommend this. 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. Especially if you like that idea of, Civil War and vampires and werewolves and stuff. So it should be a really good project. Joey Joe's like sepia tone check. Well, there's some of the samples of it. Whoops, let me go back here. If I can see if it'll go back. I mean, it's not bad. You can see some of the red rustic. You can see the gray blue in there, and it's not really sepia tones per se. It's just a limited. It is, but it isn't. I mean, I understand what she's saying, but it's like more of a very filtered, straight up without all the different wider, broader color palettes, I guess, but I'm okay with that. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look as brilliant, I suppose you could say. But I think it's reasonably well done. And it looks more traditionally colored with digital touch-up rather than a full digital palette colors. Because I think digital, if she did this all digital, it would be more variant of palette, even with the sepia tones. But but yeah, I'll probably back this on I don't know, probably just get the I'll probably get that and the graphic novel in the sketchbook if I can. That's what I'd like to do. But I'll have to check on that and see what's what with that before I can commit to this. But if I'd known it was actually this much older, I might not have even brought it up because I thought this was new. But we'll see what's available because it is available on a pledge manager. So hopefully they still got copies available. All right, that's all of our crowdfunding campaigns for this evening, but we do have an unboxing here. This came from Crown Studios out of Portland, Oregon. And let's see what we got. We got a bunch of books here. We've got Grizz Grobus and the Tale of the Azkan's Heart. We've got A Star Called the Sun, which is a hardcover shrink-wrapped edition book here. I haven't had a chance to even get it out of the shrink wrap, as you can see. Let's see. What does that say there? Short stories from Simon Roy. So there you go. And of course, this is all Simon Roy books. And then there is Habitat. And this is the book he did back a while ago. Let's see, when did this originally come out? 2017 from Image Comics. So that was all part of the order that I got. I think what I was backing actually was The Star Called the Sun, as I recall. And that's a science fiction book. So I decided to just get the whole shebang, and I ordered it. Let's take a quick look at the Grizz Grubus as well. Kind of a science fiction fantasy type thing going on. So, you know, we'll see how that works out. Steampunk and oh, somebody got mad and decided to bring the Ghost Warriors out or something. We took those steampunk things and brought them over to me, and I don't like it. But yeah, this will be interesting to see where all that goes and how it reads. Looking forward to that, and of course, I'm looking forward to the other two as well. But that's what I got. Now, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, please join us for the special edition this week. We're going to be joined by Luke Stone, the founder of fundmycomic.com, which is one of the other crowdfunding platforms. We're going to discuss about the history of that, how that platform came about and why, and show some of the stuff that they feature on that channel and why it's a little bit different than backing at Kickstarter or Indiegogo, because they have a different percentage platform. They take a lot less percentages from the creators on that platform than the other two do. But they're a lot smaller scale operation too. So, you know, if you want to learn more about that, that'll be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern live. Thursday is usually going to be our reviews of the week. Now, John, my co-host, he's sent me his stuff. He's got his stuff. Problem is, my dad had extra doctor's appointments today, so I didn't get to do my reviews today. I've got 2 doctor's appointments today, tomorrow, and on Thursday. As such, I may not be able to do the Thursday show yet. We don't know for sure. I'm going to try and get everything ready for it, but Thursday I'm going to be taking a heart stress test at the hospital and stuff, so that's to do the follow-up from when I had my heart episode last summer. And so we have to find out what's going on with me first, and if I'm up for it, then we'll be on tomorrow night, or pardon me, Thursday night. But if not, then we'll have to skip a week and go for our Friday show. And Friday's show this week will be a double feature Thanksgiving themed animation, the Thanksgiving movie, and the Thanksgiving tale that you can both find on Tubi.com if you want to pre-watch those. And that'll be Friday at 8 p.m. So that's what we have for you. If my computer will let me do my thing, it won't, of course. Let's see. Where are you silly? Nowhere to be found. Let's see. So anyway, it's not letting me show that image, but that's pretty much what we got for you the rest of the week. Hopefully we'll definitely here in the morning. Thursday, hopefully. Friday, definitely. So that's what's going on. If you have questions, comments, suggestions, reach out to me on social media. Facebook, Lewis.BrightRaven. Twitter X at LewisBrightRave2. You can see more of my artwork at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. You're watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis Brightraven exclusively on YouTube. Again, those email is quothravenlbr72@gmail.com. If I don't respond there, try lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com. And again, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning live at 10 a.m. with Luke Stone from funmycomic.com. So until then, have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Quoth the Raven, nevermore.